Okay, so recording, and we've got the wonderful Louisa back today. Hi, Louisa.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Great, great. We do have a little bit of a delay today, so we're going to get straight into it. And basically today, what we're going to be doing is helping law firms who are feeling that they've got those financial struggles or difficulties. And basically, Louisa is, she's very experienced as a trustee in bankruptcy, and she's also a registered liquidator. And she's going to share with us today some of the top tips that law firms can do with regards to restructuring should they be finding that they are struggling with their finances. So over to you, Louisa.
Thanks, Amanda. So, like any type of business, a law firm business can sometimes find itself in a position where the cash flow just isn't quite flowing so well, or it's flowing with a lot of stress. And what I wanted to make sure people knew today is some of the options that might be available to them if they're in that situation. So sometimes, because I'm a liquidator, when I talk to people about restructuring, they're like, I don't necessarily want to do a voluntary administration or liquidation. I don't want the whole world to know. They'll mean the end of my practice. So what I wanted to highlight to people today was some of the options that exist without a voluntary administration or liquidation, and without it becoming general public knowledge or publicly available knowledge on any ASIC register or anything like that, what people can look at and what people can do. So one of the things that, or a few of the things that people can do include things like informal restructuring. So informal restructuring would be, say, an umbrella term that can include one or many of the following: restructuring their financing facilities with their bank, revamping their strategic planning and where their growth and revenue is going to come from, recapitalizing the business, so whether that's refinancing or whether there's new investors or partners coming on board, sale of parts of the practice if that is going to result in a more profitable core practice. So the sale particularly might be of any non-core businesses that have developed over time. Consideration of strategic acquisitions, cash flow planning, which is what we talked about last time, and negotiations. That's part of informal restructuring as well. Negotiating with the landlord, which most people will have thought of and quite possibly done by this stage. Also looking at locations, and if they are multi-office or even in one office, do they need all the locations? Do they need all the floors they have in all the locations? Can they sublet? Do they want to release space? These sorts of things. Any management or personnel changes can be part of an informal restructure as well. Market positioning and repositioning, operational improvements, so looking at expenses, which ones can we reduce, which ones do we want to try and eliminate, looking at how the costs are made up, so fixed cost versus variable costs, can any of those be changed? And look, if you don't feel comfortable around the numbers, that's okay, because you guys are brilliant around the law. We're accountants for a reason, because that is our bread and butter. So we can go in and do all the numbers stuff for you and then say, look, this is what it means. And these are the options that are available so that you can make the business decisions. You don't have to be in the detail of the numbers. You can also have a look at what areas you're practicing in, and if you want to add some, drop some, which ones are profitable, which ones are not. So not just looking at it as one big profit pool or loss pool, sometimes it is, but being able to split it down into different services you provide, and see if any of them might need a revamp or restructure. Marketing, digitization, omni-channel, all these sorts of things. So there's such a buffet of things that are available that sometimes people go, oh, it's so obvious, but now that you mention it, now I can think of it in context for my business. Now, if it gets to something that's that is more like, I suppose bigger actions might be needed, like releasing entire premises where the landlord doesn't want to let them go. These things then might need that formal restructure, maybe that voluntary administration or something like that. But there's lots of things you can do without it being public knowledge. I hope that helps as a starting point.
I think that that is just gold, because you know, if somebody is in that position where they're just, you know, literally pulling their hair out, or, you know, sticking their head in the sand because they're just so worried about what everyone's going to say about them, because you're obviously, your reputation is everything as a lawyer, and you just don't want everyone to know what's really going on. And so that hopefully you can come out the other side and still have your reputation. Actually, what you're saying there helps people, because then they can lift their head out of the sand and go, oh, okay, well, maybe there's another way, and other people don't have to know about what's going on. So that's brilliant.
Exactly. And as you're going through that process, there's now even this thing called safe harbor, which means as you're trying all these things, and if they don't work out, and if that company practice ends up in liquidation down the road, that you can set up in advance for yourself defenses against any insolvent trading claim that any liquidator might later think they want to bring against you. So it gives directors an added incentive to try and fix things in their company rather than just throw it all in because they don't want to be done for insolvent trading.
Right. Wow. Okay. So it's better to take action, is what I'm hearing, than not.
Yeah, and by taking action, it doesn't mean it's maybe find out what options are available in your practice's individual situation. So like someone like myself can come and have a look and just say, look, okay, these are probably realistically the 3 or 4 options, or 2 or 3 options that are available to your practice. These are the pros and cons of each. This is the likely cost of each. And, you know, lawyers are the practice like owners. They're business people as well. They know how to make a good decision. They're very intelligent people. And once they have the information in front of them, they usually know how to make a good decision.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right? And that's probably a good place to finish there, Louisa. And what we will do, we'll put your information in the comments section below, and obviously people can reach out to yourself should they be feeling that they would like to get a little bit more information. So thank you so much for your time.
So welcome. Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to having you back here soon.
Looking forward to being back.
Thank you.